Good morning, good morning. Let's go do some field work, shall we? We're gonna spray some V5 corn here this morning and make sure we got everything ready to go. We got chemicals out yesterday, so that's good. I might need a pump or two. Got one there. We'll see what I can find, but we get the fire sprayer up, get the sprayer fired up, and bring it over here, and we'll get loaded up and try and get a couple loads done. So our first load here, we have mixed up some A-frame, which is generic Quadris, actually made by the same companies, both made by Syngenta. Azoxystrobin is our active ingredient. This is the preventative-only fungicide, basically. Strobilurin. This has been the active ingredient that's most effective at V5. Very cheap because it's a single node of action. It's old technology, but it works. So we're using that one. I put in my Source DC that we use on corn. Actually, we use on corn and beans this year. 1 ounce to the acre rate of that. The A-frame is a 6 ounce to the acre rate, so we needed 3.75 gallons for 80 acres. 80 ounces of Source, and we were putting in some boron. This is a liquid 10% boron at a quart to the acre, so I need 20 gallons. And we need 1,200 gallons in our tank total when we are done. Okay, we are loaded. I'm gonna tell it that we are loaded. 1,200 gallons. Okay, we're gonna turn on our pump and our agitation. Well, that's building some pressure now. All right, we're gonna go pull into the first field, and then we'll get all the rest of the setup done. I'm gonna start back here behind the farm in the middle of the section, not along the roads, so when I make a mistake and don't flush the booms out before we start and burn the corn for the first 150 feet, nobody will be able to see it. Now, Dad sprayed corn last. Corn herbicide was the last thing he sprayed, and it's fine on emerged corn. It should not hurt anything. This was just the first planted field of corn, so that's where we're gonna start, right there. Corn's a little variable. Some of it looks really, really good. Some of it looks a little tough. But overall, I'm fairly happy with it. We're manually driving here. Oh, my auto steer. Well, I can't find the right line. I don't know what I planted this on. We might have to, it's all right. We'll figure that out. All right, I need to take a second here. So, first thing I'm noticing is the ground is way wetter on top than I anticipated back here today. This was dry yesterday, but like I've said in the past, our ground wicks the moisture up overnight, and it's early and it's wet on top again, so it'll dry off throughout the day. It's not too soft. We aren't exactly picking up a bunch of mud on the tires, but there is dew on the plants that we're getting everything wet. So also, maybe you'll notice, I am not on the edge of the field. I hate following my guest rows because I can't plant straight. This field's not bad. Most of them with straight sides are fine. Anywhere I have a curve on the ends, there's a pretty good chance that my guest row is too wide or too narrow, and so, I mean, we're spraying a fungicide. It's not critical that we get those outside 2 to 4 rows, so I'm just basically shifting into the field a little bit, staying inside that second planter pass so that my tires aren't on the guest row, which seems to be working just fine. This one, hopefully I can get my auto steer to work on for the main part of the field, but we always perimeter it first, and then we get going. Now, we're not gonna have enough to spray this whole field. We had enough for 80 acres total. There's 75 here, there's 22 in the one we just did, so we're gonna run about 20 acres short. I may leave around in the middle. That way I can come back, because I wanna throw some zinc into one of these loads, or some other foliar stuff, and maybe we'll make a round in the middle of that with some other stuff added to it, and not just what we have in this tank mix, and we'll have a little impromptu test plot. I don't have any other trials or anything in this field, so it's a good one to do it in. Here we go. Now we're having fun. Nice long straight rows, good looking corn right behind the farm. Stay on line here. Don't be dancing too much. First chance I've had to really look at my boom because I haven't had to steer. That side's off because we're overlapping. So, quick note, When we went to a 24-row planter, all of a sudden we're 60 feet instead of 40 feet. So a sprayer width is 2 planter passes, not 3. With a 40-foot planter, a 16-row, you're covering 3 planter passes. In the center of that is always a tractor pass, planter pass, like it's where the tractor drove when we were planting it. When we went to 60 feet, now all of a sudden you're straddling planter passes with every single sprayer pass. So what we do is perimeter of the field doing that straddle, or in this case just offset to the inside, and then we jump over and we just let the boom overhang and shut off for one pass, because now this is the center of a planter pass, and then the next one will be the center of a planter pass all the way across, and it gets me off that guest row, which the guest rows are fine out in the field for the most part. The problem is there's no tire tracks there, because the planter tires on the wings, there's one on the outside, and then it skips one, and then there's another one. So you're driving in that skip row, and the ground hasn't been driven on at all. It's really soft. The sprayer can kind of move around, and it's just more stable to stay on tracks that have already been driven on. So that's what we try and do. Of course, after I've come through and put anhydrous on, we kind of rough those tracks up anyway, and it's still a little soft, and especially with the moist ground conditions here. It's not as rock solid as I would like it to be. So when it starts dancing too much, then I take over and I just drive manually, and it's fine. This is where a AutoTrack Vision with the little camera that senses the rows and steers based on that would be useful. Or maybe even better than that would be AutoPath, following the planter passes. And that could be done now that I have a G5 in here, but the activation subscription that you have to pay for on this display to get AutoPath is another like $2,000 or $2,500 a year, and this is literally the only pass of the year that we would be able to use it on, and the only thing that we would use that subscription for, and it's just not worth it. I can drive this manually for one pass over the corn. No big deal. Alright, found a good spot to get out and look at what we're doing here a little bit. We're gonna look at our corn. Some of this corn is really nice right here. Get our pictures. Now I want to talk about why we're spraying this corn at V5. Are we at V5? This might be a little past V5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So this is a V6 plant. A little variable. Like I said, this is the first field we planted, or second field, I guess, but it's going to be that way. So why V5? What's happening in our corn plants at V5? Well, quite a lot, actually. Let's talk about it. So in corn this size, or slightly smaller than this, we have lots and lots of stuff happening. Number one, we have transitioned fully from living off of the seed and the starch that is in that kernel that we planted to its roots system. Now obviously the corn plants start taking up nutrients and water through its roots as soon as they start growing, but up until V5 we're technically still drawing some of its energy reserves from the starch in the kernel that we planted. This corn is past that. Number two, the growing point of this corn has come above ground. So this corn is much more susceptible to a frost, to hail damage, to anything like that, where it is not going to grow back. If we were side dressing this corn and we ran these plants over, or spraying them, they're probably not going to survive. You're going to break that growing point off and break that plant off. Now, yeah. But we're not running any over. That's why we do early side dress. Number three, and this is the big one. Corn this size is already determining how big its ears are going to be. It has, at this point, started to set the number of rows that will be around on each ear of corn. Now, there are a whole lot of ears of corn on these plants. We'll find this out in about a month when we go and dissect one, but each of these plants is right now developing probably 8 to 10 ears along all of its different growing points or not growing points, nodes along that stem. The top one is likely the only one that we are going to harvest, and we want as many rows of kernels around on that ear as possible, and that's what's happening right now. So what does that have to do with why the sprayer's out here? Well, we're spraying a fungicide, a strobe fungicide, which has very well-known effect of plant health benefits. And it's not just because we see a bunch of disease out here, although there could be. And let's look at one of these plants real quick. Now it's still, you know, before 9 o'clock in the morning, but the sun's out. It's a really nice day, but look how wet these leaves are. You see all that moisture from the dew that's on there? Undersides of the leaves are wet. That breeds disease. Leaf wetness for extended periods of time is what can cause disease in our corn or in any plants, really. And so, not that we have a bunch of disease present, you can't really see much on these leaves right now, but putting a fungicide out here, especially the Quadris that we're using, or the Strobe, it prevents any disease from taking effect into getting into these plants for a while. And it'll have, you know, a couple of weeks of activity. But beyond just the disease control side of it, it really does just help these plants deal with stress mitigation. A couple of years ago when we had a very dry June, I sprayed some corn. I think it was on a Friday. I drove by the field on Sunday and it looked like a totally different field. It just helps this plant breathe, and it helps it to continue to grow and respirate, and to deal with that stress. We don't have drought stress right now, but we do have cold stress, and we've had a lack of sunlight stress, and we've even had a little bit of excess moisture stress. And so anything we can do to make this plant as happy and healthy as possible while it's going through this critical V5 growth stage of setting the number of ears around, that's what we want to do. So this corn here, you know, some of it was V6, some of it's probably V5. We're a few days late here, but it's really just barely dry enough to be out here now. And so we're going to get across most of our April planted corn as quickly as possible and give it this protection. This is a fairly cheap pass to do with the fungicide itself because of the fungicide we're using. I'm not using a, you know, triple mode of action premium fungicide for this. We'll do that later when the corn's tasseling. But for as cheap as I can do this one, I've seen tremendous benefits from it. I've also taken this opportunity to throw in some foliar feed stuff. We're using my Source. We're putting that boron in. Those products actually cost more than the fungicide that I'm putting on. So, you know, it's a convenient time to do that because we're coming out with the fungicide anyway. We don't post spray most of our corn with a herbicide. We are a one pass pre because we use a premium herbicide that, I mean, you can see these fields are clean. They're in a weed out here. So we don't need that post emerge herbicide pass, but a lot of farms do that. They'll do a planned 2-pass herbicide program, either an early post and a late post, or a pre-emerge and then a post-emerge pass. There is no way, if I was doing a post-emerge herbicide pass, that I would not be putting this fungicide in. Like, that is a no-brainer to me. For another $3 an acre, you can get yourself that fungicide and that plant health benefit. Do it every time, every single time. Well, that worked out pretty well. We were that far short of finishing to the end, and that much that we missed, minus my one round, my 2 passes that we have over there that I skipped intentionally. We'll fill those 2 passes in. This little bit here, we aren't gonna worry about. All right, there's a driveway over here somewhere, and we're just gonna drive around the block rather than back through the field. Right there. Let's go reload. I got reloaded, came back to this field. We're filling in that gap that I had here. And I did not put zinc in this one. I was gonna put zinc in and try that, but I didn't find a pump. So I didn't take the time to go find a pump. Instead, I had 80 acres worth of that Architect there. Architect is a foliar fertilizer with a PGR, plant growth regulator, from Ag Explorer, who I work with. And so I put that in here, and we're gonna run that test. And then we're gonna go spray this out on the next couple of fields. And the next 2 fields that we're going to are some of our tougher ground. It's ground that we own that shouldn't be tough, but it's just crappy soil types, and it's never been some of our better producing stuff. And so we're gonna throw a little Architect on it, see if that helps and makes a difference. Sometimes I find that the foliar products have better returns and payback on less productive ground than they do on your best ground. So be a good trial. All right, well, we got this second load sprayed out. We're gonna head back to the farm and see. I've noticed it getting a touch breezy. Well, right now it looks fine. You can see some corn leaves blowing over there. I look that way and it looks fine. I look up in front of me and wind's blowing. So we'll See what the stuff looks like at the farm when we get back there. We might have to shut her down. Not that what we're spraying really has any drift concern. It's a fungicide. There's no herbicide in it. It's not going to kill anything off target. But I don't want to be spraying if it's super windy either. So we do want the chemicals to fall in our cornfields, not on the ditch banks or the roads or the fence rows or anything like that. The flags are blowing pretty good down there. I think we're gonna have to be done spraying for today. Hear that? Sweeping out the wheat bin, hauling the last of it out. Well, Brock and Dad have been putting the tillage equipment away. Let's go see how it looks out here. You even got the tractor in, look at that. So obviously, not long enough to get the packers in with it, but those can sit there. Got some of our trailers out here. Field cultivator fits in nice. Disc is in next to it. I don't know how we're gonna get that out of there, but that's okay. Yeah, they got that in there tight. That looks good. Looks really good. And then the disc over here, there's a little bit of room. Oh geez, he painted that post. Okay. There's a little room between them. This probably could have gotten over some, but it's gonna be pretty tight, so I think they used the forklift to wedge it in there. Looks good. How's our wall look? Nice. Very nice. That sealed that up pretty good, other than the pores in the concrete, but that should be good. Dad's gonna get some boards and line the inside of our walls here, but even put another layer on that steel should help keep any fertilizer dust off of it and protect it a little bit. Looks good. You didn't even break our concrete. Good work.
What's wrong with that, huh?
That's a little crooked, but it'll be fine.
Yeah. Oh, it kept pitching over on us. You would get it straight, and then you would set it down and it would pitch over. You could tires. So this is...
You had too much tension on it.
As good as you're gonna get it.
It's fine.
Ain't nobody stealing it.
Not easily. Well, we'll get one more thing in there. We aren't going to get 4 pieces of tillage equipment in there, are we?
Ripper.
Yep, the ripper will go in here, nice. But that's where the big fertilizer pile is going to go. Cool. Wheat bins are empty. It's got windy to spray. What are we going to do now? I need to go see if I can put anhydrous on. I don't know. Judging by the fields I was in this morning, it's too wet. Drove down to those fields that we've got to side dress yet. It looks drier here than what I was spraying this morning. We got a little spot here, but we can go through that. That's no problem. This corn's still pretty small. Got a ways to go. It's definitely not V5 fungicide time on it yet. We were over there by that barn yesterday. That seemed farther along than this, but let's walk out here and look. Yeah, we can side dress this. Come down here in a little bit. I got a phone call that a couple guys might need some beans, so I might have to run a few boxes through a treater, or at least load them onto a trailer for somebody. So I'm gonna wait till that's done, and then we'll come down here and do a little side dressing. We better get that rock. Got some weeds down here, some bindweed. It's sort of dying. Better put some glyphosate in. Let me spray this one. Let's see, where are we at? 1, 2, 3, 4. Maybe 4, so it's not far behind. Got some growing to do. Let's get a side dress today. Oh man, doing a split load. Got wheat in the front, corn in the back. Okay, Brock's gonna move the 2 anhydrous tanks that we've got here down to the field. There's filter strip and areas to park them out of the field, so he's gonna go do that. I've got somebody on their way to pick up 4 boxes of beans here in a little bit. They're for replant, and he would like them to be treated. I can do that. So we're gonna go treat 4 boxes of beans. I haven't treated anything in a very long time. Have not had the replant demand that I normally do. This is about the first. This is the first of it that I have treated. So, yeah, 11th of June. But we're gonna go treat some beans, which is good because it'll let me use up some chemical that's already in the treater, and we might actually have to tap another keg, but that's okay. Get it done here. Yeah, it has been a minute since we treated some beans. These look good. We're putting Saltro on. This customer had Saltro beans originally, so their replant beans get Saltro, and it let me use up almost a gallon of Saltro, which is good. So there's still some in here, but not a lot. Maybe another gallon. That's okay. I did have to tap another keg of Cruiser for less than a gallon of product, but that's all right. What are you going to do? Those two are mixed in the main tank. I do have some water in that tank because it's a great opportunity to kind of flush the lines out. So instead of running water from my auxiliary pump, we're going to run it through the tank on there and get everything emptied out. Treated and on their way to a field near me-ish, somewhere. You can take your truck back to the farm so you don't have to walk down here later. We're going to go get some lunch. It's lunchtime, and then we'll go do some side dressing. Let's go side dress some corn. Try and finish up here at Waldron. We've got about 160 acres to do. Should be able to get it done tonight, reasonably. Grab my jug of water. Brock is going to move some empty boxes. We still got a whole bunch of our empties here at the farm. He's going to take them down to the seed warehouse for me, get them down there. I'm waiting on return trucks, like I'm supposed to have them coming, and they just haven't scheduled them yet. So hopefully soon we can get a whole bunch of boxes out of there. But anyway, if we can get this side dressing done, then we can unhook the 8RX from this anhydrous bar. We'll get the 8R hooked up to it for the trip to Berkey and get ready to finish this. Well, I was getting started here and I made that pass and that pass, and as I was turning, I'm like, hey, that tire doesn't look right. She's flat. So I called Brock. He's on his way down here with an air compressor, and we'll see if we can't pump it up. We're gonna have to go back by a driveway though. That's the one that was low when we started, and I'm sure after sitting for a week or a week and a half here, it lost some air, and we've got a slow leak in it somewhere we need to fix. But we can pump it up and make it run for today. Look at this. It's infield service by Brock. Good work. It's not exactly an air compressor, but we'll make it work. And yeah, he had to fabricate, because this is not an air tank, but it is an air tank, and it will work if you have the right fittings. We only need 30 pounds in here. Let's see what we get. Should be good enough. Got over 20 pounds in it. It only takes 30. It should be fine. We can come back with that thing full again if we need a little more air. But let's see what happens when we put some weight on it. It's holding. Now we're rolling here. Got a bunch of endros done. A few more to do, but yeah. Anyway, this corn looks really good. It's nice and even. It's much more even than that April planted corn, so that's good to see. This was the fields that we kind of, I don't want to say stale seed bed, but stale seed bed planted. It was fit before it rained the end of April, and then it got rained on, a couple inches of rain, almost 3 inches of rain. And then it was the 12th of May when we came back in and just planted it without working it again. So I had a crust on it when we were in here. Came up really nice. Looks fantastic. Just a little smaller than the stuff we were spraying this morning. But it will get there. Got really windy here this afternoon, but look, we got some dust. And anhydrous bar seems to be working really well. I see almost no leakage, which is good, which is a factor of, one, we've got plenty of moisture in our ground, so it's able to bind to that moisture really quickly. Two, it's windy, so anything that does escape is going to blow away, which is going to help mitigate any burn that we sometimes get from anhydrous on small corn plants. So that's good, and it's warm, and conditions are they're really good. So let's fly across here. There's 46 acres in this field. We've already got almost 8 of it done just doing end rows. This won't take very long, and then we're going to jump across the ditch, and there's 78 over there. Just refilled their tank. We switched tanks, and this should be enough to finish this field. What do we got done here? 28 acres. So, yeah, Brock should be coming to get our empty and take it back. We're gonna need to get 3 more from the supplier today in order to finish what I want to finish. So hopefully he can get that done before he needs to go. There he is, right there. He's bringing me a bolt. I lost a bolt that holds the liquid tube to the boot. It's okay, it's still in place, but I should fix that. So anyway, we'll get it. Alright, this first one is done here, so I'm trying to stay out of the field as much as we can. We'll jump over there. We're going to go to the west side of the field, far side over there, start on that. It's the straight edge. See if we can get out of here without running over too much more corn. What in the heck? Look at that. The whole row got smushed over from the sprayer tire. I was like, why is that row crooked there? Yeah, it was a little wet when Dad sprayed this. But he got it done. So we're starting in here. Got a tank that's almost empty, but yeah, doing what we do. It's all looking good, all working good. Making our way across this field. This field in particular has a lot of rocks, probably more than any other field that we have, including that one. Actually, there's two there, and you'll notice I lifted the planter over that. We weren't about to hit those at high speed. Haven't made it down here with the backhoe to pick them up yet. We should do that. We should do that. We should do it soon before the corn gets big. Well, I got to a spot here. I thought we better get out and show you some stuff. So, like I said earlier, this corn was planted on May 12th. It was after we kind of got the first big flood. But then, what was it, just a week ago now? No, a week and a half ago, whatever it was, we had that 2.5 inches of rain. And, well, we flooded a little bit. You can see, let's walk this way. You can see on some of these corn plants on the fringes of where it's washed all the residue out of here. We have mud on the leaves, a clear sign that we had water over this corn. It was underwater for some time. I don't know how long. Goes up a little bit farther up there. Like the water level was probably, you know, somewhere in here would be my guess, judging by that. Which means the low ground over here was underwater for longer. And you can see once we get to here, I don't think these are going to make it. There's still some green there. I suppose, no, that one's, it's dead. It's rotted off at the ground level. These plants did not survive too long underwater, and so they're not going to make it. So we've got a little area here. It's not a lot. It's not a big deal, but you can definitely see where some of this corn was underwater, but not too long, and some of it was underwater for too long. Also, we should pick that up. Where does this stuff come from? Anyway, we're marching our way across here. Don't have a whole lot more to go. Oh, that's a cool tractor. If you guys follow me on TikTok, or you saw my YouTube short yesterday talking about where my auto steer didn't auto steer and I curved off, we're about to fix it. We're about to fix it. You want to see? So you see up here how those rows kind of, well, first of all, what happened is, see that row over there started running out of seed. We were out of a variety, and I always kind of let the first row go because you gotta run out in 2 rows, right, before you stop. That one happened to go for a lot longer than normal. Usually it's within 50 feet that the second row starts to run out. So then we got up here, and there's the second row's running out, so I stopped. You see where I stopped? We went over there, we reloaded, I came back here, and I hit the auto steer button, but apparently it wasn't on. And so we started to go straight and then eventually curved off that way. And well, that was not good. So I tried to fix it, at least the part you could see from the road. And I came back and I turned the section control off and we planted through it. And we're going to follow those rows and we're going to clean up the middles. The anhydrous bar is going to take all that corn out for me. Right? Something like that. Yeah, I made a mistake. It's okay. We're trying to fix it. I don't know how effective we are. Yeah, you can still see it. It's better, but it's still there. Oh well, it happens. In about 3 weeks, the corn will be tall enough you won't be able to see it from the road, and I'll feel better. Down to the last 2 or 3 acres here, and just had to switch tanks, so that worked out pretty good, I guess. I don't know. Anyway, we just got this little triangle to do here from where the rows get short, right there, into this point. But I got one more pass to do on those ends, so we'll grab that and then we'll, finish this. And we got 36 acres to go. We're gonna go get it tonight. It's 6 o'clock now. We got time. I think we might have to punt on that field. I don't know that she's going to dry up in time to get her planted. Part of it's planted. Part of it needs replanted, and she's not looking good, guys. Last field to side dress, at least here at Waldron. We got to make our trip to Berkey yet, but this is the field that we planted with the 8R after we came back from Berkey and melted a track over here. So this corn is very small yet. It's really probably smaller than I like to be side dressing, but I want to get it done so we can get to Berkey and get that corn, which also could grow for a little while. But we got this big muck pocket up here, this really dark black soil that's super high organic matter, very soft and flowy, and I'm very concerned about burying it. So we're going to slow down quite a bit as we go through here. Try not to move too much dirt. That's the nice thing about this anhydrous bar, though, is with the Coulter style, or the opener with a boot rather than a knife, we don't move near as much soil, and I don't have to worry about burying it as much. But just did that row, so slow down more. Also can take the down pressure off a little bit, just kind of let the openers float. And we really need very little nitrogen in this anyway, so oh yeah, look at that, making trenches. So soil will mineralize some nitrogen naturally from the organic matter that's in the soil. Typically you can figure, I think it's like maybe 15 to 20 pounds of nitrogen per percent of organic matter, and a lot of our soils are 2 to 3, maybe 4% organic matter. So we're talking about 30 to 60 pounds generally. But where that stuff is 40% organic matter, yeah, there's gonna be a lot of nitrogen in it. I got a row that went right in the middle. There's an awful lot of vapor coming off of it. I feel like a hose probably came off. Oh, that hose seems okay. Uh-oh. Yeah, see that hose hanging down there? That's not a good thing. That's the liquid hose, not the vapor hose. And it probably came off the tube, but that's going to be really hard to get to with the vapor line on there. Yeah. Not supposed to be like that. Now that was a bit of a challenge, but I got it. Okay, we only got like 2 more rounds. Let's finish this up. Let's see if I get stuck here in this spot with cattails growing in it. We're pretty light. We're on tracks. We flowed pretty good. There's a little bit of corn in here. Yeah. Not gonna get stuck. Don't know if we're gonna have any corn though. Last pass. All right, well, we're done here. We're done at Waldron. So, the rain chances that were supposed to be coming tomorrow and Friday have backed off until really Friday night, maybe even Saturday before the rain gets here. So I've got 2 more days. And I'm thinking that we're going to have to go to Berkey and try and finish side dressing the next couple of days. I had other things I was going to work on, picking up some boxes and stuff, but if I can get this done, then it's done. I should spray in the morning. I need to finish getting this corn sprayed, and if it's not windy in the morning, I can get a couple more loads done. So I'm going to try and do that. And then we're going to switch tractors. We're going to leave the RX here and not make the road trip while we're still breaking in a new track. It will be going back to Berkey eventually, just not when I don't have to use it. Does that make sense? And I don't have to right now because we have the 8R available. So I'm going to take the 8R and put it on the anhydrous bar here. So we'll get those switched around tomorrow, and then we'll probably make the trip, which will be much faster because that tractor goes 31 miles an hour and I won't have to go 15. And we'll see if we can get started down there. We've got about 285 acres of corn to side dress down there, so definitely won't get it done tomorrow in one day. But if I could get a fair bit of it done tomorrow, we can finish it on Friday pretty easily and be done. And then we're going to leave the anhydrous bar down there and bring our grain cart back. like we did last year. That worked out really well. We're gonna try and do that again. All right, guys, I'm going home. Good day. We got a lot done today. A long one, but yeah, I already told you what we're doing tomorrow. I hear we have downspouts up on our bins down there, and that project is just about wrapped up, so that's awesome. Maybe we'll get to check it out when we're down there. But anyway, thanks for watching this one. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel. If you're new around here, thank you for watching. If I'm doing anhydrous at Berkey tomorrow, there's a very good chance we'll do a live stream. I want to get one more of those in while we're down there. And yeah, so we'll see you guys later. Have a great night.